in order to display the CSV file in the computer's monitor, let me create a function. Okay, so to create the function, you can start with the keyword def followed by name of the function. Let it be show function symbol colon. You can write the document string used to display the CSV file stock.csv. Now step 1, the file must be opened for reading purpose, because you are going to read the contents of this file and it will be displayed in the computer's monitor. Okay, so file must be opened for reading purpose. Use the open function. Now two arguments are there, comma. First argument, the name of the file that you want to open, and let me use relative path stock.csv, and the second argument, why you are opening the file is opened for reading purpose. Now let variable ifs point to this file. Ifs means input file stream. Now after that, in order to read the contents of a CSV file, there is a function by the name reader. Now reader function is present in the CSV module, so it should be called as csv.reader, and certainly you need to import this module. It is already imported. Now the file pointer should be passed as an argument. The reader function returns an answer, and the answer is CSV reader object. Okay, so CRO contains a CSV reader object. In the reader object, various rows are there. Each and every row is maintained as a list. Okay, so now I need to display all the rows present in the CSV reader object. How can you retrieve all the rows? The method is for I in CRO. So when I write for I in CRO, what is the meaning of this statement? You get each and every row of this reader object, and each and every row is maintained as a list. So you get each and every list present in the CSV reader object that is there in variable I, and certainly you can display I in the computer's monitor. And once the use is over, don't forget you need to close the file. You did not make use of with open ifs.close. So I created one more function to read the contents of the CSV file and display it in the computer's monitor. Now the next function is search for a record in the CSV file. For that, let me create a function. Okay, so I am going to create one more function. Use the keyword def followed by name of the function. Certainly you should write a document string used to search for an item name in the CSV file. Okay, now step 1, the file must be opened for reading purpose. So let me use this statement, no change. The file is opened for reading purpose. After that, you can read the content using the reader object. So here also there is no change. Using the reader object, you can read the content. Okay, so the reader object returns CSV reader object as an answer. Okay, now to get each and every row of the CSV reader object, how do you get each and every row of the CSV reader object? You can write the code like this: for I in CRO. So I contains each and every row of the CSV reader object. Okay, now we want to search for an item name. See what are the quantities present: item code, item name, price and quantity. Okay, so the item name that you want to search, it is read in the main function and it is passed as an argument. Remember, in is a keyword. Variable name or identifier should not be a keyword. So let me use the name INA. So INA contains the item name that you want to search. I contains each and every row of the CSV reader object. Okay, now what I am going to do is, the first row is a heading, so no need to check the first row. So how can you skip the first row? It can be done like this: if CSV reader object dot line underscore num equal to 1, meaning the first row, it's a heading. So remember, it is not I dot line underscore number. This property is present in the CSV reader object. Kindly make a note of this important point. Usually students write I dot line underscore number. I is each and every row in the CSV reader object. I is a list, and list does not contain this property. Okay, so when you read the first row from this reader object, I contains the first row. After that, line underscore number automatically becomes 1. After reading the second row of the reader object, your I contains the second row, and line underscore number, the property of this object, automatically becomes 2, and so on. So heading row you don't need to check, it's a heading, so empty statement, pass. Else, elif item name equal to this one. Okay, how will you get the item name? I of 0 contains item code, I of 1 contains item name, I of 2 contains price, I of 3 contains quantity. So if you want to get the item name of this list, okay, it should be written as I of 1 equal to the name that you want to search, INA. Okay, if so, you can display the message record found. Search record found. Now details are given below, so you can write details are given below. Then you can display the item, it is print I, and no need to continue with the while loop. So no need to continue with this for loop, because once you get the item you can stop. Okay, so you can simply break. Now otherwise you don't have to do anything, it is pass. Okay, so here don't write that the search item is not found, because CSV reader object, suppose it contains 3 rows. The first row is a heading, the first row comes here, line number is 1, so you don't have to do anything. Now the second row is taken from the reader object that comes in variable I. If I of 1 equal to INA, this is displayed. Otherwise don't conclude that search record is not there, because one more record is there to be searched. So only after reading all the rows from the reader object, finally you should conclude that if the record is not there, record not present. Okay, so how can you do that finally? What you can do is, you can use a variable found equal to false, and if the record is present, here you can make it found is equal to true. So outside the for loop, if not found, which means found equal to false. So outside the for loop, if found is false, meaning control never came here. During the iteration of the for loop, control never came here, which means the search record is not there. Okay, so you can display the message search record not found. Search record not found. Okay, and finally once the use is over, certainly you need to close the file, so you can close the file. So a few students may have doubt here, sir, why did you make use of found true initially? Why did you make use of found as false? That you need to understand properly. See, suppose the CSV reader object contains 3 rows. row 1 is the heading row and 2 data rows are there. So initially I contains the heading row. So then line number equal to 1, pass means empty statement. You don't have to do anything. If it is a heading row, just ignore that. Now the second row, the data row is taken from the reader object. Your I contains a second row. So if I of 1 equal to the name that you want to search, then found is made true, and here we will display search record found and the details will be displayed here. Okay, and because of break you will exit from the for loop, and at this point of time found is true, so this will not be executed. Suppose in the second case, here second row appears. In the second case, if the condition is false, here don't write search record not found, because one more row is there to be searched, isn't it? So if this condition is wrong, control will come to else part, nothing to be done. Now the third row, the last row of the reader object is retrieved. I contains the third row, line number is not 1, so control comes to else part. Suppose I of 1 equal to INA. Suppose if this is wrong, control comes to the else part. Now no more rows are there to be retrieved. You will exit from for loop. Found remains as false because this code was never executed. So found equal to false, condition true. So in the computer's monitor you get the answer search record not found. Okay, so like this you need to write the search function. Now main function is explained in the next video tutor.